Hello, good morning, good evening, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. I want to first of all thank everyone who has watched the last video. My last video that I did somehow managed to just get a shit ton of views. And yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching that and thank the YouTube algorithm for sending so many people there. It was completely unexpected, to be honest. I pretty much made that video and signed off on my YouTube career. I tried for about 6 months to make YouTube videos with little to no success and was like, right, I'm going to quit COD anyway, and this whole channel is based on COD, so fuck it. Just, I want to put one emotional video out there, say exactly how I feel about everything, and it seems to have resonated with a lot of people. I understand why I did well. Obviously the title and the subject matter was quite controversial, and it actually took a long time for it to get any traction. It probably got maybe 100 views in the first 2-3 months, but for whatever reason it just managed to gain momentum, and now we're now at 80,000 views, I think. As at the time of this recording, we're 83,000 views, 1,300 comments, and yeah, I just want to thank everyone for watching the video and showing support. So I want to basically just say as well that I'm going to try and start uploading again around the time of Vanguard. I have intentions of playing it, but if I don't like it, I just won't play it, and then I'll be gone again. So it's kind of, I did try and record other videos, because at the end of my last video I said I was going to try and play other shooters, which I have been doing. I just couldn't make content on them. I think the only videos of value I can put up are of Call of Duty, because it's a franchise I've played for so long, and I feel I have a lot of insight into the game and experience with it, so my videos have some value. I've kind of gone against what I said in the video where I said I was going to be quitting Call of Duty, but honestly that was more so a Cold War thing. I just really dislike Cold War, and I absolutely stand by everything I said by that video. I rewatched it just before recording this, and yeah, everything I said I think was spot on. There was a lot of controversy around skill-based matchmaking, and I kind of want to address this in today's video. There's basically two things I want to talk about in the video today. Is reintroducing myself, because obviously a lot of people subscribed and I hope they intend on watching my videos in the future, and also I want to address the counter argument to SBMM. Obviously most people agreed with what I was saying, and I feel like the algorithm just played to that, because it's obviously going to show it to people who are interested in that topic, and most of the people who are interested in SBMM are against it for the most part. But it did serve a lot of people who are for it as well, and there was a fairly substantial amount of people who responded to the video negatively and said that I just need to get good or whatever, and SBMM was great. So yeah, let's go into it. I have one or two comments I'm going to go through. The more, I suppose, common and logical comments. There was obviously just a few people who were just mad and talking shite. But some people actually did bring up valid points, and yeah, I think we'll just go through some of those. So the first comment here is actually from a couple of days ago, and it's a guy who says, "Am I the only one who doesn't get this SBMM thing, or is it just because I played Dark Souls and League for years and I'm a masochist, I think that's how you pronounce it, and I don't feel it at all. I play COD to sweat. That is how competitive shooters should play. Maximum concentration and effort. If I want to wind down and relax, I'll play something else." I would agree with him all the way up until the point he said competitive shooters. COD was never a competitive shooter unless you wanted it to be. It was always a casual shooter that you could just hop on with your friends. If you wanted to play competitively, you would get called a sweat or a no life or whatever. And yeah, you could go and stomp a lobby if you're very, very good, but you know, that would be just the way it was. Now, obviously, that's taken away. Everyone is of the same skill level in the lobbies, or close or thereabouts. So it is now more competitive, and that is the reason why a lot of people don't like it anymore, including myself. I know, as I said in my video, I don't want to play a competitive shooter. I want the Call of Duty that I grew up with. So that's gone. You can, as I said, you can play Call of Duty competitively if you like, but you shouldn't be forced to play competitive in Call of Duty. You shouldn't have to all the time. As I said in the video, I am quite happy to get sweaty if needs be, but when it's all the time, it's quite draining and boring. One of the main counter arguments that really actually annoyed me a little bit was people, oh, so you just want to play bots all the time. And I should have addressed this in the video, maybe I did, but I don't want to play bots all the time. That would be equally as boring as playing sweats all the time. You know, if you're just playing a game and absolutely dominating every game and there's no real challenge ever, then it does get a bit boring. If I want to do that, I would play literal bots with AI in recruit mode and just dominate if I want to, but it wouldn't be satisfying. Like, for me, the main thing is variety. I just don't want to play the same game or the same lobby every single time I load into a game. It's just nice to know that I can load into a game and not know how it's going to turn out. It could be an easy, sweaty, hard game, whatever it is, and I'll figure it out as I go. But I load up into every game in a Call of Duty right now. I already know what's going to happen. We are 12 players, we are a close enough skill level. It's likely going to be a very tight game. I'm not going to get any nice score streaks, kill streaks, any sort of good feeling from it. I'm just going to have to sweat. Another common thing that was said in the video was that I need to go get a life. I have a life. I'm very passionate about Call of Duty. You know, it's just one of the things I grew up with that I always had there as a comfort. It was a source of escape for me growing up as a teenager, going through school and life and all that stuff. When life got hard, I could always hop in Call of Duty and feel good. And I just, maybe it's an age thing where I just don't get that anymore, but it's it would be nice to be able to hop onto Call of Duty and just be able to feel somewhat good about my skill level again. But that just, without any sort of knowledge of where my actual skill level is at, it's hard to tell. You know, back in the day you could say, right, I have good games most of the time, I therefore must be a pretty good player. Nowadays I have so-so games every single game. It's, you know, maybe I'll get a 1 KD, 1.2 if I'm lucky. At the end of the day, you have two views, or two ways of looking at this that I said in the video. You can say, right, this person has played for a long time, is of a fairly decent skill level. He should expect to have good games most of the time because he is better than average. Whereas you have other people who believe that they should play in their own skill lobbies, and so to protect lower skilled players from getting hurt by these people, these terrible sweats. Like, there isn't so many sweats in the world where you're going to come across a sweat every single game. With skill-based matchmaking, it certainly feels like there is. Let's say you're a bottom 50% player. You're still, like, you're probably in around, I'm not sure what the KD would be, but you're definitely less than a 1 KD. You're probably, the chances of you running into a sweaty player is probably like 10% every time you load into game. Let's say everyone who's a sweat is above 90% skill. Like, you're only going to run into a sweat 10% of the time. A little bit of an error in my maths there. Obviously that would be assuming that you would be doing 1v1 every game, but even still, the odds are in your favor. You wouldn't run into a sweat like every single game. It would be quite varied. So yeah. So the other times you're just going to come across slightly better players or worse players. Like, there's 50% of pit players who are worse than you. So, and I would be for a matchmaking system that probably excluded the bottom 20%, maybe 20 to 30, and then the rest was just a whatever. You know, if you are even having some sort of introduction to the game where you would, until you reach a certain rank, you are put into a beginner's lobby, we'll say. I believe they had something like that for Black Ops 2, if I remember correctly. And then after you reach, I think it was rank 10 back then, but if you reach, once you reach rank 10, you're just put into public lobbies and you don't know who you could come across. And that's where you would really learn. You know, in the beginner lobby, you would probably learn the mechanics of the game and stuff like that, but you wouldn't really learn how to actually play because the people in those games don't know how to play either. But once you get into the real games, you're thrown into the deep end a bit, and you kind of just have to adapt, sink or swim. And again, it's not like you're going to come across a sweaty player every single time. It's just it would just be completely random and based off your internet connection. Like, I'm just excluding all the terrible things that come as a result of skill-based matchmaking, like worse connection, worse time for your friends, things like that. Just the core fundamental argument of should players play in their own skill level or should it just be left random? And we're excluding all the other nasty side effects of it. And I still believe it would be better to be based on your connection, mostly random, up until a certain point. You know, once you get out of the bottom 20% of skill, for example, you would be put into the public lobbies and it would be just completely random. I believe that's where it should be. That's where it used to be. And that's when Call of Duty, at least for me, and I know for a fact there's a whole heap of people who feel this way, was at its best. The best Call of Duties had no skill-based matchmaking. And it's not the sole reason for it. I believe there's other things as well, like the maps were way better, gunplay was better, things like that, but that is certainly a huge factor. Like, for example, even just like having a good moment in the game, you get like a quad feed or something like that. That like just never happens anymore because there's always someone there to trade you. You know, once you get 1 or 2 kills, the other guy's there waiting to kill you. Like, you don't have a moment where it's possible anymore, really. It's extremely rare. I don't think in Cold War I had any real moment of like, holy shit, that was crazy, I can't believe that happened, because the skill level of everyone there just wouldn't allow it to happen. There's no chance you're going to go on a mad kill streak or get a crazy kill feed or whatever it may be, because it's just so incredibly hard to do that when you're in these lobbies. That's why there's no one who creates montages anymore, for example, or whatever it may be, unless they're reverse boosting. And that's actually another thing I didn't even talk about when I was talking about skill-based matchmaking in the last game. Like, reverse boosting is a thing, and it's way more obvious in this game now. Like, there was a certain level of skill-based matchmaking maybe in World War II? Maybe a few games before that. And there was slight reverse boosting. Like, you could maybe tell when certain players were reverse boosting. I remember, I think it was Korean Savage who was quite clearly reverse boosting in that game. With some of the lobbies he used to get were absolutely insane. But like, it is a million times more obvious now. I've watched some streamers, like some of the guys who are top of the leaderboards in Cold War. They play hardcore Nuketown 24/7, and it is just so obvious, and they even admit to it. They're like, and they're all against skill-based matchmaking, but if they want to achieve top of the leaderboards, they have to do that, because you can't, like, if I wanted to go for top of the leaderboards, I would have to play like probably 20 plus more days to even get anywhere close to these guys, because they're playing in far easier lobbies. So it just leaves that room there for manipulation. Like, it's very easy to manipulate skill-based matchmaking if you really want to. I don't want to. Like, I wouldn't feel good if I was them just in there dominating every single game. That to me would be as boring as playing sweats all the time. So yeah, this is I'm not sure really how this went as a video. It's my first video I've made in what is it, 8 months now. So yeah, I think I've covered all my points about skill-based matchmaking. I'm not sure what the gameplay of this was, but I'm sure something's up there. Again, I want to thank everyone for watching the video. The last video, I hope a few of you watched today's video as well and are looking somewhat forward to Vanguard. And I'm still streaming on Twitch with the boys. I'm not taking it too seriously over there. If you're ever bored someday and just want to watch some Irish lads talk shite and play a game very uncompetitively, that's where you would go. And yeah, I will log off. I'll see you in Vanguard for the alpha or the beta, whatever it may be. And yeah, good night, God bless, have a good one, good luck.